So good morning, guys. And the next concept is document object model. Uh, Before going to this document object model, we have to know exactly what is the purpose of this document object model and how it is going to work and all. And let us see, guys. Right. So in entire JavaScript, document object model is one of the very important concept, guys, and let us see how this document object model is going to work and all, guys. Okay, now let us see. So can you check the points, guys? What is the document object model can do for us, right? So I just written 4 to 5 points here. Just observe these points here. JavaScript DOM can change all the HTML elements in the page. Guys, generally we will write HTML elements in the page, right? This is an element, right? If you can observe this page, there is HTML is an element, head is an element, title is an element, body is an element, h1 tag is, everything is an element, right? So everything will look like an element. So what it is saying, that what is the first point here? It is saying that it can change the HTML elements. I mean, for example, so right now you have a document with simply these things. What is these things? So with these elements. So this is a document you created. I want to add some additional elements to body tag. I want to add some additional elements to head section dynamically. So programmatically you added these 8 lines of statement. I want to add, so normally you written 8 lines of statement. I want to add some other statement, some other elements I want to add to this document. This is one document, guys, remember carefully. This is one document. This document contains collection of elements. What it contain? Collection of elements, right? So what is my slide is saying that here? Can you see the slide? What the slide is going to tell you? This is just observe this, guys. Go to this slide and change all the HTML elements in the page and change all the HTML attributes. Make you already know what are the attributes of an HTML element, right? So you already know what are the attributes of an HTML element, guys. Let us see what are the attributes of an HTML elements also. For example, I am creating an input element, guys. Input type equal to text, right? This is text, and name equal to uname, and id equal to uname, and class equal to some class. What are all these called, right? Can you say what is this type, name, id, class, and what are we call them? Attributes, right? This is input is an element. For this input element we have some attributes called type, name, id, and uname, something like this, guys, right? So these are the some attributes we have here. So what they're changing, that we can change those attributes also. The guys are simply saying that we can change the attributes in the page. So for every HTML elements, not only this input element, guys, you can take anchor tag, you can take image tag. For every HTML element there is some input elements. We can change those input elements as well dynamically. Once the document is loaded completely, I want to modify my document, document elements. What the document contains, it contains a lot of elements. Once the document is ready and I want to change, I want to add some elements, I want to change the attributes of an element. For example, this input element contain, so four attributes: type, id, name. I want to remove this attribute, right? Yes, I can remove this attribute. Or else you want me to add an attribute to this element. Yes, I can add an attribute to this element dynamically, programmatically. So on click the button, I want to add an attribute to this element. On click the button, I can remove the attribute for an element, guys. So this is nothing but what a DOM can do. Seriously, DOM will play a key role in our JavaScript, guys, right? So it is all about the manipulation of your document. This is the complete document. I want to manipulate this document. I want to add an element to this document. I want to remove an element to this document. No, I want to add an element to specific div, only specific div. Yes, we can add an element to specific div also by using this DOM. DOM is providing a lot of methods and properties to manipulate this document, guys, seriously, right? So what exactly the DOM is doing and all, that's what we are checking, guys. You can see, and we can see the third point is here. What is the third point is saying that DOM change all the CSS styles in the page. For example, you add, so you know already how to assign a style to this document or element. So we can design an element in two ways here, by using CSS and by using JavaScript as well, guys. You know already dot style property. We already seen how can we add style to an element in JavaScript, right? Dot the style dot color equal to something. So we assign, we seen the same in earlier examples, right? And the fourth point, if you can observe this here, add and remove existing HTML elements and attributes. What they are saying, that the simple point is here, we can add an element to this document, and we can remove an element from the document, as well as we can add an attribute and we can remove an attribute from the page, guys, right? And we can create events on the page also, right? We know events already. How, what are the events we know? We know on click, on focus, on blur, on change, some events we seen. So we can add events to particular element dynamically. So how this is all going to happen? This is nothing but document object model, guys. By using this document object model, we can add an element, we can remove an element, we can manipulate the document, guys, completely. So this is exactly the DOM is. Nothing, guys. Here you may have one doubt, guys. What is DOM? Nothing but, so in this slide also, I just tell you some small point, guys. What is a slide? The document object model is a programming interface for HTML and XML document. Not only for HTML, for XML documents also, we can call this is DOM, guys, right? What DOM will tell you simply, DOM will always represents the entire document, guys. What is this document contain? Document contain collection of elements. Those collection of elements is nothing but the DOM, guys, right? If you can observe, there is some hierarchy in this page. This is the father of every element in this page, guys, here. And the children's of HTML element is head and body. Head contains again some other elements, and body also contain some other child elements, guys, right? Who is the father? The hierarchy, the root element of this document is HTML, and the children's of this document is head section and the body section, guys. This is exactly the document object model is, right? So not only for this, what is the point is simply saying that the DOM represents the document as a nodes and objects. See, so what is this point is saying that the DOM represents the document. Nothing, guys. This is a document. So you can go to somewhere in the desktop or somewhere, guys, just you can see on the desktop there are a lot of documents are there. This is one text document, so this is one zip document, and this is some other image document or PPT document. We have some, this is Word document, so this is image document again. So for everything we are calling as a document, this is a HTML document, right? As well as what are you seeing here, this is also a HTML document. Now what HTML document contain? It contain collection of elements. To manipulate those collection of elements, I want to remove an element, I want to add an element, I want to add an attribute to an element, selected element only, not for every element. I want to add an attribute to the selected element, I want to remove an attribute from the selected element. To perform these operations, we can use document object model, guys. To simply said, to manipulate the document object model, we can use DOM interface. Nothing but it's a small programming interface available in JavaScript, guys. DOM is a small programming interface that is available in our JavaScript, guys. Not only for HTML, this is available for XML documents also. Can you see this point here? It represents the page so that the programs can change the document structure. We can change the structure of the document. Simply said, what is the structure you written? This is the structure I written. By using DOM, I can change the structure as well. I can remove this body tag completely by using DOM. I can remove this head section by completely from the document, guys, by using DOM. What exactly DOM can do? This is the duty of a DOM interface, guys. It provides a lot of methods and properties for us to manipulate and to do these operations, to add, remove, and elements from the document. So he is providing a lot of documents, guys, seriously said, right? This is exactly the document object model is, guys, right? So now can you see the DOM structure, guys, right? See, I don't know, guys, can you see in this page we have a lot of elements, right? So we have a lot of elements: HTML, head, title, body, h1, input. we are able to see 6 to 7 elements in this page. But if we can go to a well documented HTML page and well structured HTML page, a lot of elements you can see, almost all paragraph elements, div elements, everything we can see in that page. See, I don't know how many elements in the document. For every element, who is the father? Document is the father, guys. So that's why I make my root element is document. So after that, HTML. After that, HTML contain body section, head section. Can you see the structure here? Who is the father of this document? HTML. Who is the father of HTML? Document object is the father of HTML element, guys. Right. So can you see the structure of these guys? So head section contain title and text contain my title. Here if you can come to the right side, there is a element called body contain some elements, anchor tag, h1 tag, anchor tag having href is an attribute, right? Href is an attribute, and the text mailing and the text header, something like, guys, right? What exactly we are saying, this is the document. So simply said, blindly remember one point: for every element in a document, guys, this is a document, right? We don't know how many elements are there in this document, but one thing remember: for every element, who is the father? Document is the father, right? HTML is a document. dom1.html file, dom1.html is a document. The document contain collection of HTML elements. For every element, who is the father? Document is the father, guys, right? That's the reason. So I make the diagram like this. Document is something like this, right? Okay, now you can see. So DOM programming interface, simply we have to understand one very important point here, guys. In this DOM, all HTML elements are defined as object. So do you remember what is the point I'm saying you here? All the HTML elements you have to define as a objects. So generally we know object basics. In the starting sessions we have seen the basics of an object. What is an object? An object is a collection of properties and methods, right? This is an object, guys, right? What is I'm saying here, can you see in this DOM all HTML elements are defined as an object? Okay, what is this? I don't understand this point clearly. We are saying that all HTML elements are defined as an object. I don't know, right, guys? So for example, I am writing something div and h1 tag and paragraph tag and a header tag. So we have some tags, right? Header tag and footer tag and body tag. So these are all the some tags. We have head tag, right? These are all the some tags. See, if I can see in HTML wise, what I can call, guys, all are called as what we can call them elements, right? All are elements: div element, HTML element, and paragraph element, footer element, body element, head element. Guys, remember the same. If I come to JavaScript, what I can call, guys, all of you check it carefully. These are all the elements in JavaScript. Elements in HTML, we can call them as elements in HTML. But in JS, what we can call all these, these are all called, what we can call, guys, these are all called objects. Ante, what is the meaning of it? Div is an object, h1 is an object, and I mean, in the terms of JavaScript, every element will act as an object, guys. But in terms of HTML, everything is an element. So this is in HTML. See, guys, these are all the HTML elements because I'm a HTML document. If I am coming to JavaScript, I can call these as a object. Everything is an object, right? So I will tell you, I will show you the proof whether the element is an object or not, right? So just wait for a minute. Just I want to show you the type of is and what is the element is and all, right? So we know how can we get this element, guys, in JavaScript, right? So this is based on ID, right? So we know already a method document dot get element by ID. What is the ID of this element, guys? Here check the ID uname, and here this is, you can take an element here where e equal to any variable you can take here. Can you say what this is getting, guys? It is getting the complete element information. What is the element information? Uname, that is the ID of the element. We are getting that complete element information. I am saving into a variable. Can anybody, what is this e? E is an element object. In JavaScript, I told you every HTML element will be an object simply. So now you can see I'm alerting. Just observe this carefully. If I alert, what I will get? So what this alert will display, the message and all. Let us go and check the output, guys. Here, I just want to see the output here. Can you go and check the output, guys? Here, and I'm going to refresh the page. Can you see the output, guys? Can you see I got an alert? What is this alert, Amma? Object. Can you see object? What is the object, Amma? HTML input element. What do you understand here? What I am saying, for every element, for whatever the element you have in the HTML document, if we can come to JavaScript, that element is an object, guys, right? Every element in HTML is a JavaScript. So make sure this is nothing but the HTML element, guys, right? So now you can go there and you can check the document again, guys. I'm just checking the document. This is my page, right? Not only this, what I am saying, that every element, see, this is what the alert is getting, guys. You are getting some alert now, and refresh the page, you are getting an alert object HTML input element. This is object. HTML input element is an object in JavaScript. So what is an object? You know na, what is an object, guys? Object is a collection of properties and a collection of methods, right? So now see, what are the properties of this element, guys? What are the attributes? Nothing but these attributes will act as a properties. For example, you want to get the type of it, na? So simply, guys, if you want to get what type of text box this is, but I'm getting an alert, it's an HTML input element. What type of input element it is? Text box, password box, or submit button. I want to know, right? If you want to know the type of it, guys, see, this is the element reference, and this is the attribute. Simply you can come and you can write something called e dot type. See, this type as it is you can access in JavaScript, guys. So if I refresh my page again, what is my output here? So what is the type of the text box is e dot text. What you mentioned here, the text value will come here. So this is how we can access the attribute values in JavaScript, right? For example, I want to get the name. So if you want to get the name, so let us write one more alert here, e dot name. So the attribute name should come here directly as an property. So here I'm talking about name. This is called property here. And if you can come here, this is called name. Name is a attribute, guys. Simply said, name is an attribute in HTML. Here the same name, it is in JavaScript, the same name will call as a property of an input element. Here if we can come, name is an attribute. See, so in HTML we can call name as attribute. In JavaScript we can call name as property of an element, right? So you want to get the class also, then how can we get the class of an element, guys? So then can I write e dot class? I am writing something called e dot class, and let me alert this. So and refresh the page now, and I'm just refreshing. We are getting text. We're getting the text box name. I'm getting the class is undefined. Why class is undefined? You assign some class to an element now, but the class is a predefined keyword, guys. We have to use in another way. I will tell you, we have some other methods to access the attributes also, but I'm just writing property manner because class is a predefined property. That's why we are not able to access. We are getting undefined something, guys, right? So remember only one thing, not only this input element, so you can take an anchor tag. For example, I'm taking an anchor tag here. So go with an anchor tag ahref equal to click here, something like I'm taking click here. You can take some attributes now, title equal to click, something like, and we have some other attributes, alt equal to like, or else sorry, target equal to something. We have some other properties now, target, target equal to underscore blank. Some properties I have taken. So how can I access this anchor tag in the DOM? So we have to take an ID here, right? Take an ID. So I'm taking an ID as a link. So how can I access this? Now anchor tag is an element as per HTML. The same element, if you can come to JavaScript, what it is, guys, anchor is an object now. So now you can take where a equal to document dot get element by ID. I'm taking simply something, guys, get element by ID. What is the ID of that anchor tag here? Simply you can take ID as a link. So then now you can observe this. I'm just alerting a. So what is the value of a here? Now if you can refresh, just I'm going to refresh the page. What are you getting here? Sorry, I'm getting current document name. Why I'm getting current document name? Because href we didn't provide, na? That's the reason. So let us write some test.html. So nothing, I just want to see anchor tag and HTML element. I want to see something like this, and let me refresh. Okay, we are getting the same. Why I'm getting the same? So no, wait, just I want to confirm small thing. Actually, I'm expecting something called document element. Okay guys, because it may be a link, it is always trying to redirect to some other location, or else let me give a div element, guys. Let us go to take a div element. Okay, we will talk about anchor tag later, so don't bother. So class equal to my class and id equal to my class, or whatever it may be you can take. So this is div some, I am writing this is div. Okay, let me get this div, guys. I'm talking about my class. Let me see, div is see what I am saying. Every element, if we can come to JavaScript, that will be an object. So but in HTML we can call them as element, but if we can the same element come to JavaScript, that I can call it as a object, guys. That's the reason I'm coming here. Let me refresh the page. You are getting, so what are you getting here? Object, HTML div element. Earlier we got HTML input element, now I am getting HTML div element, right? So this is an object. So object means it has some properties, na? So what are the properties here? So attributes, generally in HTML we can call attributes. This is id. You can take some other also, and everything we can get based on the attributes, guys. E dot style and whatever it may be, and this is how we can get not only this div element, you can take some h1 tag also and make h1 tag. What I want to tell you here, every element in JavaScript, that is an object. So the point is also in the slide. Do you observe the slide? In the slide also, what I'm saying you guys in the slide, guys, simply I'm saying you one point here. In the DOM, all HTML elements are defined as a object. I don't know how many elements you have in your document, but every HTML element, if you can come to JavaScript, that will be an object, right? So that's why I am in the document, I am writing one HTML element here. If you observe in the document, I am writing one HTML element. What is the HTML element I am writing? So input element I written, div element I am returning, h1 tag also I written. You want to provide an id and try to access based on the id and try to alert it. It will also tell you an object. Or else you can go with the type of also, na? All right. So if you don't want, just alert the type of, just I'm typing of alert. So what is the type of that a? So this is actually a div. Just you can go and refresh the page. If you can refresh the page, what is our output, guys? You are getting an object. The type is an object. I mean, what I want to say simply, whatever the element, how many elements we have in HTML, right? Don't bother about how many elements are there. Whatever the element we have in HTML, if they can come to JavaScript, every element is going to be an object. Every element in HTML, there is some attributes now. So for example, if you can take image tag, what are the image tag attributes, guys? img src, right? So you want to get image tag here. Yes, you can take an image tag. So we have img src is an attribute, right? And title is an attribute, right? So alt is an attribute, right? Alt is an attribute. Height, width are all attributes, no? These are some attributes, right? Width is an attribute. And you can take some id equal to image. I am taking something called image, right? src we didn't provide anything. Title hello I provided, and alt also I'm providing something, nothing, but this is also an element, right? So if you can come to here, height 100 and width is also 100, right? Width is also 100. Now how can I access the same element in JavaScript, guys? Document.getElement by id of, what is the image id? img, right? Type of a, I'm just printing. So here also you can take, just you want to take any variable img. Yes, you can take any variable img, no problem. Variable could be anything here, and just alert it. If you can alert, what is the type of it? It's an object. What an object contain? Properties and methods, right? Now what I want to say, I want to access the width of the image. img, what is the property you have here? Height is an attribute. If you can come to JavaScript, is a property. Img dot height, what is the height of it? It will going to refresh the height of the image 100, something like this, guys. Simply said, what I want to say here, every element in JavaScript, sorry, every element in HTML, if we can come to JavaScript, that will be an object, guys. We know what is an object. We seen an object is a collection of properties and methods, right? Method means it will perform some action. Property, what is a property, guys? Property will always define the behavior. Property will always define the state of the object. A method will always define the behavior of a action, guys. Behavior means method will always define the behavior of an object, how it will behave. So state of the object will always depends on the properties, guys, here, right? So the properties, some here, every attribute, img src is an attribute, title is an attribute, alt is an attribute, height, width are attributes. Those attributes in JavaScript we can call them as a properties. Every element attributes we can manipulate, we can add an attribute. For example, you can see I'm removing title and alt, guys. I'm just removing title and alt. Right now you can check it. So I already told you what I can do by using DOM, guys. By using DOM, I can add attributes, I can remove attributes, right? I can add the attributes as well as I can remove the attributes as well, guys. Right? How can I add an attribute? How can I remove an attribute? Right? Just I want to tell you one method here in the DOM document object model is providing a method to add an attribute. Let me show you. Image dot what you want to add to this image. This is image is containing the whole element of the image, right? So image dot, we have a method called set attribute is a method. Set attribute is a method. What is the attribute you want to add? I want to add an attribute called title. So comma and something, title equal to hello, something key and value. What is the attribute name? First thing is attribute name. You can add any attribute using this method, and the value is hello. This is a method to whom I want to add this, especially for image, so that the image should come here. Image is an object. Set attribute is a predefined method available in the document, guys. Now, okay, just remove this for a while. I don't want to see anything, and you can just go and refresh the page. And can you inspect this and let us check, is there any attribute called all right, so there is no title attribute, there is no alt attribute, guys. If you can see the DOM, img src is unknown, height, width, id is there. But now you can observe this. By using this method, I'm just trying to add an attribute and just refresh the page and just try to see the attribute is added now. Can you see alt hello is added, guys? Right? What DOM is doing? DOM is dynamically changing an element behavior. So it is adding an attribute to an element. It is removing an attribute to an element also, guys. I want to remove the source. You want to remove the src. If you remove src, there is no use of it. So you want to remove width, you want to remove height. Yes, guys, we have remove attribute is a method. Img dot remove attribute width. So if we can write the method, the attribute will be removed. So what is a method? This method is a predefined method. Set attribute is a predefined method in the DOM document. Right? So what is our document? Right? Nothing but in the document object model, we have a predefined method called set attribute. By using this method, not only image tag, you can have any element. To which element you want to add an attribute, you can use this method, guys. I don't know, I can use image tag, I can use input element. So earlier you have an input element. So for this input element, we don't have placeholder attribute. I want to add placeholder attribute, guys. Based on the id, how can I get the placed on the placeholder attribute? Where in equal to, right, oh, in is a predefined keyword. Inp equal to document dot get element by id. What is the id of that input element, guys? You have uname, right? Uname. This is the element. Right now I am writing inp dot set attribute, the same method. Not only I'm saying that set attribute is not only for image, right? This can be how many elements you have in your HTML document. For all the elements, you can use set attribute to add their respective attribute. Here I'm going with the placeholder attribute, comma something welcome I am writing, guys. Now what is going to happen, guys? If I refresh, placeholder welcome is added. Can you see welcome is there in the text box? And here placeholder attribute is added. But as a as you written what you written here in the element input type equal to text, name equal to something, and id. But do you added any placeholder attribute? No. For this for this image element also, did you add any alt attribute? No. Who is adding those placeholder attribute and alt attribute? These are added by DOM. Nothing but the manipulation is nothing but manipulate the document is nothing but DOM, guys. Right? So to do these, to perform this, document object model is providing a lot of predefined methods, guys, to add an element, also to remove an element from a document. So this is providing a lot of methods and lot of objects, guys. This is nothing but the DOM document class, right? So simply this pointer, this is frame container, only one point is saying that in the DOM all HTML elements are defined as objects. I don't know how many elements are there in your HTML document. Every element will be an object if you can come under JavaScript, guys, right? So now, and the next very important thing is document object. So here, document is a predefined object in JavaScript, right? So we discussed as of now some objects. What are the objects we discussed? String object, array object, right? Math object, number object. These are the objects we discussed. These are also predefined objects. They contain some methods and properties we already seen with some different examples. Now we have a very important concept called document object, guys. This document object, document is a predefined object. We are writing, we are already started using document. Document.write is a method. Document is an object, write is a method. Now we just written one method, document.getElement by id. What is the get element by id we written here? Document, can you see this document is an object? This object contain get element by id is a method. Document.write, earlier we seen document.write. So that is a method. Write is a method. Get element by id is a method. Now we are writing something called set attribute. All these methods are belongs to this document only, guys. Right? This is very important in entire JavaScript. Without document object model, we can't do anything, guys. This is very important concept, document object model. So we have to discuss completely regarding the document object model, what this document object model is exactly will do. And this is what we have to know, guys, right? Just this slide you have to understand very clearly what I'm saying in this. So every element, again I'm saying you, every element in HTML, if you can come to JavaScript, that will be an object. So every element contain some properties, sorry, attributes, right? We know what are the global attributes of every element. So id, style, class, we know that these are called global attributes of every element, as well as every element has their own individual attributes now. So for example, if you can have some image tag, we have some attributes, right? If you have input element, they have their own attributes. You have some anchor tag, it has their own attributes, right? Those attributes, if you can come to JavaScript, they can call as properties, right? Every element, all right? How can we access the element properties, guys? Here, this is very important. So what is the img? Is an element. This element contain complete information. If you don't want, wait for a minute. I just want to console.log img. Just I'm printing console in the image. Here also I want to print console.log. I want to print input element. Just you can see, I mean, what this variable contains. Just I want to show you. Earlier you got an element, something like, just I want to show you what this element is exactly contained. Let me refresh the page and you can check it, what this contain, guys. I printed, so this contain img. What this img is containing? This img is containing all the information of the image element, as well as input also. This, what is this input element contain, guys? If you can come to the all the input element information was available in this page. Now I printed inp. What is this inp? This complete element information was available in the inp variable. You want to get a particular attribute of the particular element also, yes, we can access based on the element reference, guys, right? So this is how we can access the DOM object properties, right? Nothing but an element properties, right? So to manipulate the documents more and more, document object model is providing a lot of predefined methods. Let us see what are the all the available predefined methods in the DOM, and how can we use those predefined methods which are provided by the document object model to manipulate the documents. Just now we just seen how to access an element in JavaScript, and every element will be an object in JavaScript. This is what we seen, guys. In the next session we have to discuss and we have to thoroughly explore the document object model, guys. Right, in the next session we are going to explore DOM very clearly.